All right, just for the amusement, this is what we're working with. Great.
Oh, so you've been filming the whole time?
Oh yeah, it's filming.
Okay, cool.
Hello world, hello friends, welcome back to my channel where we talk about tech. Today I have my bestie Jackie here, who is a self-taught software engineer, and I'm going to be asking her some questions, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you're ready. Okay, so this whole interview is very impromptu, and I made some questions while I was on the plane over here, which, you know, I booked very last minute, and then I asked some people on Instagram 5 minutes ago. So we have some great questions that are very not planned or rehearsed, but very authentic, so it's gonna be great.
Nice.
Okay, so let's start with...
I'm nervous.
Oh, sorry. Don't be nervous. See, this is why we should have gotten the wine and then done this.
True.
It's not too late.
No, we can do this.
Okay.
We can do this.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is post-production editing Delia, editing this video. Here to tell you that it ended up being an hour long, so I made it 2 parts now. This is the first part where we'll be talking about Jackie's journey, how to learn to code, switching careers into tech, and things like that. And then part 2 will be more about how to get into FANG, preparing for technical interviews, and more random questions. So subscribe for part 2 if you're interested, and now you know what's going on because it ended up being too long. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Bye. First question, tell me a little bit about your journey in tech.
Okay, so yeah, I have a degree in mechanical engineering, so I studied mechanical engineering in Portugal and kind of did my master's in numerical simulation and CFD. So CFD stands for computational fluid dynamics. That's kind of what I did in my master thesis. And then I started my career, not really in tech, it was like, I started as an aerospace engineering graduate at Rolls-Royce in Berlin. So I was kind of doing a graduate program where I could work in different departments for a couple of months and then switch it up. And some of those departments I was able to pick them myself. So honestly, the way that I got in tech was I was actually in Derby here in the UK working on a project, and I was just bored because you can't do much in Derby. So I just bought an online course for programming and I started learning JavaScript.
Oh.
And that's really how I started. So that was in 2019. And I have some friends who are software engineers, and they were encouraging me to continue and to actually really invest into it. So I kept doing online courses, and then in this graduate program, I used the chance to work in a development department where I got to write some Python script and some Bash scripts to automate some processes. And then after that, I joined the data science team where I actually got to do some full stack development. So after I finished this graduate program at Rolls-Royce, I applied for an internal position as a developer, and I got it. So that was my first official developer job, still at Rolls-Royce. And I also started working on a project at home with my friends. So that project is Edgesheet. It's an automated trading journal for people who trade cryptocurrencies. So it doesn't do any execution, but basically just reads and processes your trading history. So yeah, check it out, link in the description. But yeah, anyway, so that was really cool. I learned a lot about it, and then eventually I thought that I wanted to work more at scale, and I just started looking for new opportunities and ended up joining Amazon recently, and that's where I am today.
Yeah, a month ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's been your first month last week.
Yeah.
So how did you enjoy your first month?
It was good. So there's a lot to learn, a lot of internal tools as well. But so far I'm enjoying it. I'm working in a financial systems department. So we do microservices to process transactions and basically develop accounting systems for Amazon Prime Video.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
First question on top of that, what made you decide to switch from aerospace engineering to software development internally?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so aerospace is a pretty cool area, but it's very slow paced, especially compared to tech. So tech is very dynamic, it changes quite a lot. So I just prefer this fast paced environment, which I got to experience even at Rolls-Royce when I started being a developer at Rolls-Royce. and I just enjoyed it better compared to basically the pace that we had for aerospace, which is quite comprehensible because if you think about it, aerospace is very, it's a very
red tape, lots of rules. Makes sense.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of security, a lot of compliance involved, so things can't change as fast as they do in the tech world.
Yeah, that's true. But it would be also really cool. Like working in aerospace was also really interesting.
Yeah, cool. It's pretty cool.
So do you think you're gonna miss it?
I mean, maybe a little bit. Like sometimes the use cases are pretty cool because everything you do, you kind of, you know that the work that you're doing is related to an aircraft engine that's on an actual aircraft, or it's going to be on an actual aircraft. And then you look up the aircraft, and I was personally working with private jets. So, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty sick. But in the end, it's a bit different. And I wanted to learn how to work with things at scale. And the tools that I was developing at Rolls-Royce, they were very like internal tools for a handful of people to use. So it wasn't stuff that had to scale the way that things do at other companies.
You want to help millions of people.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just different. And I think it's a whole new level of complexity when you do things at scale.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Scalability is in right now. Okay. We already covered this. What did you study and how many years did you spend studying? But maybe you can tell us how long it took you to study to get into software engineering.
Yeah. So I started studying how to code in March 2019, and then I got my first job a year after as a developer at Rolls-Royce, and then in April 2021 I got the offer from Amazon. So it was about like 2 years from the moment I started learning, but I did invest quite a lot of time and effort into it. So there were some sacrifices involved, especially in my social life, which I didn't have much to begin with, but
Yeah. But 2 years is really fast.
Yeah.
You can change your life in 1 year because that's when you got your first role.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want to get into tech.
Yeah, it helped a lot being at Rolls-Royce, and it was like a big advantage that I had being in this graduate program where I had the chance to work in different departments because I got the opportunity to see, do I really like it, or is this just something that I hear about and I want to try it out?
Yeah.
So it really helped me to make this decision because I did work in aerodynamics, which is a very aerospace field, and then I worked in data science and like full stack development, and I ended up enjoying more coding and like working on these platforms than I did doing the aerodynamics work.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, so
not the aerodynamics work, but the enjoying coding more.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so just to answer the question, but before that I did study 5 years, and I had like a STEM degree.
Oh, your degree was 5 years?
Yeah, so in Portugal when you do a master's, it's called an integrated master's, and you do 3 years of a bachelor's degree and then 2 years for your master's, and you just do it like all together. So it's 5 years of studying, and that's what I did, and it does help because I also had some like MATLAB programming at university, so I knew what a for loop was when I started coding, but obviously it's very different. It's like it's not really knowing how to program, but you do get some insights, and the logical thinking that you develop during a STEM degree does help.
Definitely. The math courses you took a lot
as well, like algebra and calculus and all of that.
Math does help.
It does, yeah. Like it might not
to
be
some
necessary.
degree, but it is not necessary.
Yeah, but it does help.
I just made a video about that. Literally 2 days ago, so I'm just going to include it there.
Yeah, link it there.
Yes, okay, so you found it easier to learn programming concepts from the STEM degree?
Yeah, so I just think that if you do have a STEM background, it's probably easier. Because I did have it, so I can't compare if I didn't have a STEM background, but I do think it helps.
Yeah. It helped accelerate your process of learning.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, but maybe a lot of people hear like, oh, you got into coding with only 1 year, but in that 1 year, it's not like an hour a day you probably dedicated. How long do you think you spent on average a day?
Yeah, I would say on average perhaps 2.5 hours.
On average every single day?
Yeah, because then on the weekends I would do quite
Yeah,
lot,
like a big batch of learning.
Yeah. So at end of the weekend, at least like 4 hours each day or something, depending on what I had to do. But again, I was living in Derby. Yeah.
Okay, now let's go with what made you decide to choose Amazon?
Oh, so it was really because I wanted to work on systems at scale, and Amazon is known for, just
Its scalability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I
biggest
also
company in the world.
Yeah, exactly. And I also worked with AWS when I built Edgesheet with my friends. So I was already a bit familiar with some of the services. So I thought this would be like a plus point when I applied. So I actually had a friend of mine who was working at Amazon in London. So I just asked him for a referral. But I also applied to some other positions.
Oh, so you got a referral?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. And how did you prepare for your interview process?
So I really did prepare hardcore, I must say. Because like a couple of months ago, I didn't even know what a linked list was, right? Like it was bad, you know?
A few months ago?
I mean, okay, not a few months ago, but like last summer was when I started getting into these concepts. Like I read Cracking the Coding Interview, and that's when I learned what was a linked list and stuff. So I didn't know those type of things before, because that's just not covered, when you do like a full stack software engineering course, like online course. Usually they don't cover these theoretical computer science fundamentals.
Realize that.
Say what?
Yeah, so you do need to study them at least once, like in depth, if you're not familiar with it, because that's the type of thing you learn when you study.
But if you join a
computer
boot camp,
science.
you do learn those things too.
It depends on the boot camp, but I think some of them do, yeah.
Yeah. So which course did you get?
So I read Cracking the Coding Interview, and then I googled a bunch of stuff, and then I did LeetCode, and I did a course on Udemy, which also brushed up on the computer science fundamentals.
Oh, okay, to prepare.
But this course, it wasn't like in general about CS, it was really targeting interviews, so mostly like data structures and algorithms that are typically asked in interviews. So it didn't go very deep, it was mostly just like the
Interview prep.
Yeah, the more well-known data structures and algorithms.
Okay, I meant, which course did you first take in 2019?
Oh, that was a Code Academy course. It was a full stack web development course. And then I also did some chapters from the data science course. So these are very big courses. They're actually not courses, they're like career paths. So you have like lots of courses inside of this. So it's like 300 hours in total, like each
And
of
it's
these
free though, right?
models. No, I did purchase the subscription, like the premium subscription.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they have free ones too.
They do, yeah.
Okay. So what made you decide to purchase it?
So the premium version gives you access to like lots of projects that you can do for each module, and also quizzes and like extra reading material. And it gives you access to the full content. I think I might be mistaken, but at the time, the free version didn't give you access to everything. And like I was working full time, I didn't want to waste my time looking for stuff on Google and trying to filter out all the noise. So I thought I'm just going to invest in the premium version so that I get all the content organized and ready to consume.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I did when I prepared for interviews. I purchased premium LeetCode, premium Interview Cake. Just
it does make sense.
Yeah, you gotta invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself. That's the best investment you can possibly make.
Okay, and I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this. What programming languages do you use at work?
You can ask for Edgesheet though, if you want.
Yes, Edgesheet. Let's talk about Edgesheet. So when did you start building Edgesheet?
So Edgesheet, a friend of mine had the idea to build it, and we started mostly like in 2020, so beginning of the year.
Oh.
Yeah, so we kind of just built it, we integrated one exchange, and it was mostly for personal use initially, because my friends do trade, and I just do it for fun sometimes as well. So we decided to build it because it was also a good exercise for me to learn. And then we really liked it, so we thought let's just make it public and make it like an actual platform that other people could use as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, super cool. How long do you usually spend programming during the week?
Oh, I think it depends a lot. Like some weeks, so for example, when I was working at Rolls-Royce, there were weeks where I didn't have like many meetings or like other obligations. So I had a lot of time to program, especially because I was doing a project mostly by myself at the time. The last 6 months before I left the job, I was working on a project practically by myself. So I did get quite a lot of time to code. But sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes you have meetings, sometimes you have you want to do design discussions, you want to review design documents.
Yeah.
That's not really coding, although it's related, but you're not actively coding. You need to read documentation, you need to Google, so...
Read documentation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. So how long would you say on average?
On average, at least 50%.
50%?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, at least, I think so.
Nice. Are you currently working from home?
Yes, I am. Although the office is open and I can go if I want to, so occasionally I do pop in, once a week. It's still nice to get out of the house and go into the office.
Nice. So that would be your ideal once a week?
I think so, yeah, a hybrid approach, a balance. Perhaps 2 days a week in the office and then the rest from home.
Yeah, 2 days is not bad either.
Yeah, 2-3 days, I think that's...
Because you get some nice amenities there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's not like the Google office. That's probably the best one, but it's still cool. It's a nice office. It's in the center of London, and it has a nice rooftop bar. It has, ping pong inside and all, that type of stuff, which I was not used to when I was working at Rolls-Royce. So Rolls-Royce is more of a conservative company.
You have a ping pong table
oh my God,
right
yeah,
there.
I do actually.
She has a ping pong table. You're used to it now.
But I almost never play. I played more beer pong on that ping pong table than actual ping pong.
Wow.
That's kind of funny.
Degenerate. What is your favorite part about working in tech?
Oh, that's a hard one, actually. I do have to say I really like coding, because when you're in the zone and you're just coding and you make progress on your project, it feels really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So I do enjoy coding, and I like the culture. I know that sometimes the tech culture can be a bit, let's say, toxic or a bit, aggressive and a bit much, overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the extreme of it. Usually it's good. It's a good balance and it's pretty chill. And I like that. At least that's from my experience. I really like the culture and the environment, because what I was used to was more of conservative companies, which are also fine, it's a very different environment, and I realized that I enjoy the tech environment better.
Yeah, more fast-paced, more fun.
Yeah, and also the people there are younger in general, and
True.
They are just, I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Do you find it challenging being a woman in tech?
So luckily, I don't think I've ever experienced any hardship for being a girl in tech. So for me personally, I never had to deal with anything that made me find that it's hard to be a woman. So perhaps I'm very lucky.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, so far it has been pretty good, and I can't really complain.
Cool. Well, you're definitely helping inspire a lot of women in tech through your Instagram. And one of my questions was, how do you come up with your awesome tech content?
Oh, thank you. I don't know, sometimes I'm just in bed and I have an idea and I just write it down. For doing some sort of series or, just ideas for content to write on. And I also, I used to read some technical books occasionally, and then I would also kind of create content about what I was reading. So, for example, I read Designing Data-Intensive Applications. It's this really big book, and I actually wrote a lot of content about the things that I was learning in that book, which was really intense, but also really interesting.
Cool. Okay, yeah, that sounds intense.
Yeah, it was
a light read.
Yeah, it was about distributed systems, so it was heavy.
Cool. Yeah, she's obsessed with distributed systems. Okay, and what are your plans for CS Jack 9? What are your plans for your Instagram?
Okay, so right now the goal is just to Okay, so on the one hand, it's fun for me. Like, I have fun on Instagram. Like, I have fun creating content. I have fun coming up with ideas or like funny reels or something. And then, I just put it on the internet. And I also like it when other people reach out and tell me how my content has helped them or inspired them. It might sound a bit cliche, but it's true. Like, of course, it makes you feel super nice when people say that.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, so that's really nice. And if we're here and we have, we know things that can help other people, why not share it?
Yeah. So where do you see it going?
So I actually want to create a YouTube channel as well to kind of create long form content, because on Instagram, you can create content, but it's a bit limited in terms of time and in terms of like how much you can write about it. And blogging is kind of dead, so now video format is king. So
definitely,
yeah, I thought a YouTube channel would be like the next step.
Yeah, definitely.
For Jackie.
Yay! If you create it in time, then I'll link it below.
Oh, thank you.
Will you create it? If she's created a YouTube channel, by the time I post this video, it will be in the video description.
Subscribe.
Yes,
please
subscribe. For someone who is just learning to code, is Amazon a good company to work for?
I think so. You can learn a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just meant, I don't know if you should answer that. Like, of course you're going to say it's a great company to work.
Yeah, I mean, I just joined, but so far I think there's lots of opportunities to learn a lot of things. So yeah, for sure.
Especially about distributed systems. If you're as obsessed about distributed systems as Jackie,
I mean, I'm not
go join
obsessed,
Amazon.
But it's complex. So, and it's the challenge nowadays.
She talks about scalability a lot
because it's challenging. It's like anyone can do an app that runs on your laptop.
That's true.
The challenge is like how do you make it run for like millions of people.
Yeah.
Right. It's a whole.
Yeah, that's very true. Why web developing?
Oh. I just think it's I think it's a really good area to start in programming, because you can quickly build something, and it's very rewarding when you like get to, see your work.
Instant gratification is so good.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit like that. Yeah. I mean, it's not instant because it does
take some trial and error.
Some people think that web development is simple, but it's actually not.
Yeah, it depends what we're talking about.
Yeah, but if you want to do it like, again, at scale, then it's challenging.
Yeah, very true. How to determine if my portfolio project is a good idea, or do you have any ideas?
So I think it depends. If you just want to have a portfolio so you can like apply for jobs, you don't really need to come up with anything new. You can just, build something that already exists and just put a different spin on it. So you don't need to have like a $1 billion idea, But if you want to, but if you want to start a company, then it needs to be something new or something that already exists, but you need to do it like 10 times better.
Yeah.
So it depends a lot.
But you don't want to start a company, you just want to build a portportfolio. So do something that exists and put a twist on it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what projects did you do other than Edgesheet?
Yeah, so nothing that I put on my CV. Edgesheet is the only project I have on my CV. But I think anything so you can do small projects to learn, and you can do, for example, even on Google Sheets, for example, you want to track your finances, you can just write some scripts that use the APIs from your broker and your bank account and so on, and you can pull in all the data and kind of see and control and manage your finances this way, for example. That's a project. I've done that. And then you can do the Spotify. I did these in a reel recently. So I put these on Instagram. You can do a little app, like a front end that interacts with your Spotify account. So you can create playlists and stuff. So you can make it as complex as you want. You can do a to-do list app. It's really simple.
That's the standard React project.
Exactly. But you do learn doing this little project.
Yeah, of course. It really demonstrates a lot of the features.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a good answer. Salary at Amazon, I think you can Google that.
Yeah.
How is she able to manage all the different things she does? So how are you able to manage a full-time job along with Edgesheet and content creation?
I ask myself the same thing sometimes.
Yeah. Mental breakdowns, that's how.
No, but actually it doesn't take much time, it was just a project that we did for me that I did to learn. And in terms of, it's more like a hobby, you know? So, you know, like a couple of hours a week on the weekends, you know, maybe I'll look into some emails or I tweak something in the code, but it doesn't take up much time. In terms of content creation, it does take up some more time, but it's also like a hobby, you know, I have fun doing it. Like sometimes it might be a bit overwhelming because when you're in social media, you do have the pressure to like post and stuff. You know, if you want to grow, you do need to post frequently and be consistent and deliver good quality content. So it can be a bit challenging, but just remind yourself that like you started this for fun and you started this, you know, to help other people, to have a good time, like to create content that you also enjoy. So if you're feeling uninspired, like if I'm feeling uninspired or tired, I'm not going to force myself to create content because that content's not going to turn out good anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I feel uninspired, I just reuse old content and until I feel inspired again.
You know, reusing content.
I'm just like, well, yeah, you know, reuse.
But that's smart, of course.
Recycling, it's great.
But yeah, keeping a schedule helps a lot with that.
Yes.
Just stay organized, manage your time.
Batching, I'm going to add that.
Yeah, do a schedule.
So that concludes our little interview. I hope that was helpful to some of you that were looking to work in tech or interested about FANG or maybe are self-taught or don't know where to start. That was very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me and for giving me cookies and making me salmon and being so kind. She is the cutest thing ever.
Very wifey.
Yes, she is a great wifey. Wifey.
Yay!
Such a cutie. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, and make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on bell notifications, and also subscribe to Jackie's channel that she just made especially for this.
Yeah.
So please go subscribe.
Please subscribe.
And I will see you in the next video.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay, that was cute.